I think Shedeur has come on so strong in the last few weeks that it's making them think, maybe we should see what he can do in training camp before we decide that perhaps Deshaun Watson might be QB1 on the depth chart.
Mary Kay Cabot may not have walked into the studio and officially named Shedeur Sanders the Browns' Week 1 starter, but she said enough to make Anthony Lima's whole argument look uncomfortable. Because for weeks, Lima has been acting like the Shedeur hype is just fan emotion, like Deshaun Watson's experience should settle everything, and like Shedeur still has not done enough to make this a real fight. Then Mary Kay came in and calmly explained what actually happened inside Browns practice. Shedeur came on strong late in OTAs and minicamp, and he made it almost impossible for the Browns to make a quick decision. That is the clip that changes the whole conversation. This is not a random fan account. This is not someone watching highlights online and guessing. Mary Kay has been around the Browns, watching the quarterback battle closely, and her point was very clear. Shedeur did not stay stuck where he started. He improved. He got more efficient. He got more comfortable operating the offense. And when a young quarterback starts trending upward right before training camp, the veteran cannot just hide behind his name anymore.
It means a little something, but I wouldn't read too much into it. I feel like you might be a Browns beat writer, Colin, because this hype train in Cleveland is so ridiculous right now.
That is where Lima's problem begins. His argument sounds simple. If Shedeur was really the guy, why has he not already been named the starter? But that ignores what Mary Kay just explained. The Browns did not name a starter because Shedeur made the decision harder, not easier. If Watson had clearly separated, this thing would already be over. The Browns would hand him the first-team reps, tell the media the competition is done, and move forward. But that has not happened. And the reason it has not happened is because Shedeur forced the team to keep watching. Mary Kay pointed to the exact details that matter. This was not just Shedeur throwing a few pretty passes. She talked about the operation of the offense, progressions, getting rid of the ball, footwork, timing. Those are quarterback things. Those are the details coaches care about when deciding whether a young player can actually run the system. And if those details are improving, then Shedeur is not just winning internet debates. He is winning the type of internal trust that eventually turns into real snaps.
And review the film. We don't know who's going to the right place, who's going through their progressions quickly enough, who's releasing the ball. There are a lot of things that go into this evaluation, and you might see a great long bomb, but maybe what you didn't see was a defender pulling up on the other end to make sure that that would have been a sack in a game, obviously. So, it's very difficult when they are at this stage in no pads with no real pass rush to determine who would do a better job.
That is why this hit Lima so hard. Lima has been leaning on the idea that Deshaun Watson's veteran experience will matter more when training camp gets real. And maybe there is some truth there. Deshaun Watson has played NFL football. He has seen pressure. He has been in real games. But experience only helps if the player still looks like someone who can win. If Watson is not clearly better, and Shedeur keeps getting better every week, then the Browns have a completely different problem. This is not about Shedeur being handed anything. It's about the gap closing. It's about a young quarterback making the staff rethink what they thought they knew. And it's about a veteran quarterback who should have ended this competition already if he was really that far ahead. That is the part Lima does not want to sit with. Watson was supposed to have the advantage, but Shedeur has made the advantage feel shaky.
I'm not going to name a number one, so that I am not going to name. That chances are that's not going to, I shouldn't say that. Chances are I will not. Now, once we get to the fall, we'll have to dissect the reps how we see fit. I just don't see it after the way Shedeur's played and Deshaun's played. They both played well enough to earn the right to compete to start.
Monken saying still to be determined is important because it proves the Browns are not ready to close the door. That's not the same as saying Shedeur is already official QB1, but it does mean the decision is alive. And once the decision is alive, the young quarterback has a real chance. That's all Shedeur needed. He didn't need a press conference in June. He needed enough momentum to make the coaching staff take the battle into pads. Mary Kay confirmed he did exactly that. And while the debate keeps going in Cleveland radio studios, Shedeur is doing the one thing that kills doubt. He is working. Instead of arguing with every critic, he went back to Colorado, kept throwing, kept training, and kept building timing with Browns receivers. That matters because young quarterbacks don't win jobs by talking. They win jobs by making the next rep look better than the last one.
Don't know how to let it out. She love me because I made it. They try to write me off. I ripped up that paper. I might be colorblind.
Is it harder to breathe, I heard? You can tell the difference?
I'm a little sick too, so I don't know.
That Colorado work fits perfectly with what Mary Kay described. Better footwork doesn't appear by accident. Faster reads don't appear by accident. Cleaner timing with receivers doesn't appear by accident. That is repetition. That is study. That is a quarterback understanding that every detail matters because this may be the biggest opportunity of his football life. And then you see it show up on the field. The Browns even posted clips of Shedeur connecting with Gage Larvadine. And those moments are important because they show command and timing. It's easy to dismiss practice clips, but when they line up with reports from beat writers, coaches, and people around the team, they start to tell the same story. Shedeur is not just hanging around. He is improving in the exact areas that decide quarterback battles. That is why the Browns cannot treat him like a normal fifth-round pick anymore. The draft slot matters on draft night. After that, the field starts talking. If a player is improving, you do not keep burying him under an old label. You move with the evidence. And the evidence right now says Shedeur has turned himself into a real part of this competition. Even national voices have started noticing. Colin Cowherd has been saying Shedeur can start in Cleveland, and whether people agree with him or not, it shows the conversation has moved. This is no longer just a Browns fan fantasy. People outside Cleveland are looking at the roster, looking at Watson's recent history, looking at Shedeur's skill set, and asking the same thing. Why not give the young quarterback a real chance?
Despite the fact that Shedeur Sanders had the fewest attempts, he was the most efficient and most productive with the fewest reps.
That is where Lima's position starts looking outdated. He keeps acting like people are crazy for believing in Shedeur, but the Browns' own situation is creating the belief. Watson has not done enough in Cleveland to make everyone feel safe. The team is trying to reset the offense. The coaching staff wants real competition, and Shedeur keeps showing growth. When all of those things happen at once, the QB battle naturally starts moving toward the player with momentum. Now, to be fair, Shedeur still has to prove it when the pads come on. That is the last big hurdle. Practice in shorts is one thing. Training camp pressure is different. Preseason pressure is different. Live rush, red zone, third down, crowd noise, and real hits all change the evaluation. But that is exactly why Mary Kay's comments matter. She did not say the Browns should ignore the next step. She said Shedeur came on so strong that the team needs to see more before choosing. That is the best-case scenario for Shedeur. He bought himself more time, he bought himself a real competition, he bought himself a chance to walk into camp and prove that the late OTA surge was not a small hot streak. And if he does that, Lima and everyone else who dismissed him will have to explain why they were so quick to shut the door.
Set! Hey, 3-1. Gonna do a ritual.
That's the real story here. Mary Kay did not need to scream. She did not need to turn it into a hot take. She just described what she saw. Shedeur got better. He became more efficient. He operated the offense with more confidence, and because of that, the Browns could not just rush into a decision. That is what shuts down Lima's argument, not because Shedeur has already been officially crowned, but because the idea that he's not a serious threat to win the job no longer holds up. The people watching the practices are saying he has climbed. The coach is saying the decision is still open. The clips show him working. And the longer the Browns wait, the more it feels like Shedeur has made this too close to ignore. So if Lima wants to keep pushing Watson, he can. If he wants to keep doubting Shedeur, he can. But the conversation has changed. This is no longer about hype. This is about progress. And when a young quarterback starts improving in the exact areas that coaches care about, that's when the depth chart starts getting dangerous. Shedeur Sanders has not been handed the Browns' starting job yet, but he has done something almost as important. He's made the Browns pause. He's made the media adjust. He's made Anthony Lima's old talking points feel weaker. And now, when training camp opens, the question is no longer whether Shedeur belongs in the battle. The question is whether Deshaun Watson can still stop him.